The universe spanned that night, the stars shining so bright, as man stood firm on the ground that drifted through space. From far away life looked the same, and maybe that was the way it should be. But for I and Mr. Overgate, our worlds were no more. I had lost the love that never was, and he had lost that which is the greatest of man's emotions, love. I looked back at Mr. Overgate, who had not seen only his wife slain, but his future too, for she was carrying child, and Valentine slaughtered both as he lay unconscious, and woke to find his wife bleeding to the ground. Now he suffered images that would never return. He never had the chance to see his wife die. He was robbed of any last moments that the two could have shared. Even the last glance that love has to offer might give a man enough to find the strength to muster on, but he had been robbed of even these. Mr. Overgate kept speaking as if his wife was still next to him, for the pattern we all live are not easy to give up. He touched the floor beside him as if he had held her hand so dear. He stroked the floor as if he was reassuring her. Maybe this moment was one which was special for him to relive, a moment where the love between them was ever so special, ever so sweet. He spoke words of love so softly, his head would sit on its side as he stared into open space where his wife's eyes would have been. He gazed as he did. I saw slow tears fall from his eyes, but no expression came on his face, no anger, as if like a film he was living out this scene as the watcher too. He was crying at the flickering images that transposed on the back of his mind. When Jenny and I had met the Overgates, they had renewed their wedding vows, only now to find themselves separated between life and death. The love to us seemed so special and filled us full of warmth that faith and love has to offer mankind. Their dreams became our dreams, their ever-constant search for true love, which keeps man and woman warm at night, that keeps them looking straight into each other's eyes, long after others' loves would disappear. They gave hope to us all that love could be held on to, that it was the easiest things, that there was pleasure to be found in an everlasting romantic love, that once seeded would always grow and grow, blossoming like a beautiful tree with streams running beneath it. Mr. Overgate moved his head towards and kissed the air between in front of him, and settled back and with a sigh of relief smiled, as if that moment had ended, a special perfect moment of which you occasionally have and wish would never end, a moment he had chosen to remember his dear wife, who would never speak to him again, would never rest her body on his, would never take comfort in each other's simple company, would never look upon each other. For what is the difference between the living and the dead? For everything appears the same, but that which sparks life in them is gone, and they are left empty and cold, no longer talking, like an endless sleep. I could well imagine that this couple's love was one where they would never spend a night away from each other, where any argument would be left with the night, where they'd spend hours just staring into each other's eyes and holding each other's hands and never wanting to let go. A love so close, sweet and special that a poet would turn it into a sonnet for all to share. But this was their love, that they had actually lived every moment they had was treasured. And now only trinkets were left to polish, the box was closed, never to be opened again. Mr. Overgate sat back and put his head into his hands and began to sob, as he remembered his visions was only but that. And now he was back in the real world again to suffer the pain of having a beautiful love taken away from him. He sobbed over and over again, Why? In love, they say, it is important to be able to lose to win, but in his loss there was nothing left to win.